In recent news, the Big 12 and the Pac-12 ended talks. They're not merging, meaning the Pac-12 is dead and the Big 18 is alive. This is Locked On Baylor.
You are Locked On Baylor, your daily podcast on the Baylor Bears, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome to Locked On Baylor. Drake Toll alongside Cameron Stewart from Inside the Bears, talking today about expansion. See, the Big 12 and the Pac-12, they're not going to merge. And that's big news. Also, I don't want to, make anybody upset or trigger anybody. So since I'm in my own home, alone, not around anyone, tested negative for COVID today, we're comfortable to take the masks off.
Is that okay to do? Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Remote locations. I'm in Massachusetts. You're in Texas. We should be okay. Cameron, the Big 12 has made a decision to not merge with the Pac-12, right? It's like the dog eat dog. Somebody has to come up on top of this one, right? It's a competition. Yep. We have made a decision, folks, after an unhinged episode on Monday. If you saw the episode on Monday, if you're coming back from that, thank you for coming back. Thank you for trusting us again with your time, because we understand that we had too much fun, way too much fun. And I promise, Cam, we had a very stern talking to prior to this episode. We will not be having fun again. Strictly sports.
Yeah, we can't be doing that.
You know who else is not having fun right now? That's the
Please
Pac-12.
enlighten me. Oh, okay.
That's the Pac-12. Yeah.
My old Cub Scout pack. Yeah, I got you.
Cam, do you like numbers? Big numbers guy?
Big. 12 is one of my favorite numbers. Actually.
Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, 45. I think it's a good number. Pedro.
Jackie Robinson?
Yep.
Okay. Numbers right now are the reason the Pac-12 is going to implode. It's going to die. Here's why it's going to die. USC and UCLA. You know how much money they accounted for? $200 million. $200 million, right? So the loss of these two schools, $200 million cut to the Pac-12. Pac-12 was already the fourth highest grossing conference in college athletics, only ahead of the ACC, by the way. They don't make very much money at all. You know how much Texas and Oklahoma were worth when they left the Big 12?
15, 20.
$140 million.
Okay,
that's a $60 million difference between the Pac-12 and the Big 12 and what they lost. And the Big 12 recovered with, teams. Now, granted, you still lost about $50 million in revenue because adding UCF, Cincinnati didn't really build back your Oklahoma and your Texas, and it added more teams to feed at the table. For the Pac-12, without the two biggest moneymakers in that conversation, what do you have left? What do you have left, Cam?
Honestly, what do you have left? Kokomo, Oregon? Drake. That was the song I was thinking of. Kokomo. Yeah. Basically, that's all you have. You have Nike left, because Oregon is great. And again, for the millionth time, we'll bring this up. It's not even about how good you are at sports. And Oregon's pretty good.
Yeah, they do sports well. I would agree with that.
Football, men's and women's basketball has been very successful the last decade. Or I guess without Sabrina there now, I guess not, maybe not so much. And baseball's been decent. Okay. Up and down. They're a very steady football program. Like one of the best in the country the last 10, 15 years.
Tough to keep them down. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. But that doesn't matter because
wins don't matter.
Like if they didn't have Phil Knight, if they sent the acceptance letter to the wrong address or something, and he went to Washington State, we'd be having the same discussion about Washington State. Oh, you know what? I mean, they're pretty good. They don't have any market, but they're okay because they have like the richest sports dude on the planet just funneling money to them.
I think they actually, they sent the letter to Phyllis Knight, just P Knight. And then lo and behold, funny. Phyllis is neighbors with Phil, gets the letter. I could do it. I could pull it off. It'd be Phyllis. They actually wrote Phil. Bada bing, bada boom, Nike. You know where he really wanted to go? You know where Phil Knight really wanted to go? Baylor University. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Bucket list.
We're getting unhinged here.
Bucket list. Yeah, we're probably got to rein it in. We got to rein it in. Yeah, we can't do that. We can't be doing that.
Yes, Oregon is good. Yeah. That's what they want me to say. Oregon is good.
Well, they're going to be great in the Pac-12
too,
right?
Much all you have. Yeah.
Oh, they're going to be great in the Big 12. Okay, so you have Oregon.
Are they? Are they though? The Big 12? Our Big 12?
Yeah. You think about the idea.
All right, go on.
No. They're going to be good. Here's what they're going to be good. They'll be in a pod. They'll be in the Pac-12. They'll be in the Pac-12 West. So the fact
that we say about Baylor and the SEC, they'd be in a Big 12 pod.
Right.
Who's a Big 12 team?
Which in this scenario, though, the Big 12 is completely absorbing the Pac-12 because
I could do an office quote here. I'm not going to do it.
Resorb
this is a PG podcast.
The strength of a major conference and a little teeny tiny conference.
Yep.
So when you take in your Oregon, your Washington, bring the Big 12, what? Arizona, Arizona State, Colorado, Utah, Stanford out of the conversation, Cal out of the conversation. Any other Pac-12 teams you want to conjure up, probably out of this conversation as well. But with the addition of those teams, now you have BYU, Arizona, Arizona State, Colorado, Utah, Washington, Oregon. 7 teams you could pod out into whatever they want to be. Make a Southwest pod if you'd like to. But at this merger in the road, right? The Pac-12 just lost $200 million in revenue. The Big 12 lost 140. They made up for most of that. The Pac-12 does not have an avenue. How much money do you think Boise State grosses every year? How much money do you think San Diego State grosses every year?
I was going to bring those up.
Yeah.
Not a lot. And their arguments that we've seen on Twitter is basically just, Boise State's good at football.
Yeah.
They've got engaged fans. That's when I saw that.
Well, BYU does too. Hey.
Yes. But they've got a brand.
As a twofer. You see what I did there right there?
Yeah.
Engaged fans.
I got you. No, I got you.
Religious affiliation. Baylor too.
Anyway, but they don't bring in anything. Nice competition and cool game. You play on a blue field, that novelty wears off. And that's not against Boise State. I don't have anything against them, but exactly. That's what Brett Yormark's saying right now.
Okay, yeah. Well, look at the Boise
elevator
State.
Pitch me, Boise State.
Exactly. And what's your pitch? Where's your market? What's your market?
We don't have. I don't even know if that's their pitch. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. We're the flagship program of Idaho.
San Diego's a decent market. I mean, not great for college sports, but it's a decent market.
Yeah.
I would rather take Oregon without a market. Boise State's just like, look, and it sucks. This is where college football is, but it's been here for a while of like, look, we don't have a market. We are just really good at the football. They're German now, by the way. We are very, very good every year. And they just get kicked to the curb by those nasty American ally powers. They're like, no, you get back to Germany. That's where they think Boise is.
What?
The big wigs of the Big 12 think Boise is in Germany.
Well, it might as well be. It's foreign to you. The Boise State's never going to be the Big 12. But then I'm saying, the Pac-12 can't bring in Boise State. They can't bring in San Diego State and say, look, hey.
Right. I was going to say they can, but what is it?
Hey, look at us. We're a real conference now again. We're back together. No way. Phil Knight doesn't have the power to make Boise State a profitable school. Uh-oh.
He'll try. But...
Uh-oh. Yeah, that was said. So now the Pac-12 doesn't have a leg to stand on. There's nothing they can do.
Yeah. They can't do the move that the Big 12 did last year. Not like the Big 12 became this mega conference, but we've talked about it time and time again. They did not miss on those 4 teams, at least in the near future. But in terms of stability too, those are about the 4 best you can get that are mid-major group of 5.
Yeah.
That could use that step up, and you could use them. This is what we're saying about the Pac-12. I get geographics are thrown out the door, but when you're bringing a group of 5 team, geographics are absolutely in the door. They're very much inside the door. It is door city, as Nathan Fielder once said last week. It is door city in there because they actually do give a dump about how their cross-country teams and their swimming teams travel. So the Pac-12 has got nothing. They got nowhere to go, Chico, and they're not getting Chico State. I'm telling you, they got nowhere to go.
Speaking of wheels or doors, just really quick fun aside.
Oh.
Are there which are there more of in this world?
Doors.
Yeah, I've always been a big doors guy.
Yeah, I just think of a household.
Died too young.
How many doors you have in a household? Oh, dude, I love the doors. Let's not get into it. We don't want to get into music talk.
No.
I love the doors.
Back off of that conversation.
Not a big deal, but I have done that.
Well, and kind of to put the bow really on.
Can that be in the thumbnail, the picture of me at Jim Morrison's grave?
Yeah, probably. Do you have a picture of that?
Cool.
Do you have a picture
I
of that?
do, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
You know what? Hold on a second. Hold on. You're going to send it to me after the show's over. And the folks that are watching on YouTube, it's on the screen right now. Jim Morrison, and Cam Stewart. Jim Smile.
They're going to love that.
Yep,
they are going to love that.
To wrap up the conversation, next thing I want to get into, Cam, is can the Big 12 be a Power 3 conference with the teams that don't answer it yet? Don't. You're supposed to think about it. We have an ad read coming up. Can the Big 12 be a Power 3 conference with the SEC and the Big 10? But first, I'm going to play a little game. I'm going to make you somebody, and you got to tell me what you do. You got to tell me what you do if you were somebody. I'm going to make you two somebodies.
Jim Morrison, I'd go to sleep. I'd keep sleeping.
I'm back to life. You are both SMU and Memphis. Okay.
Oh, we're playing this game.
Yeah. The Pac-12 gets on the phone, and the Pac-12 says, "Oh, hello there. We are from California, and we would like you to join our athletic conference. If you're SMU, if you're Memphis, this is your shot to go to the Power 5.
Yeah.
Do you say yes, or do you hold out for a better opportunity in an expanding Big 12 or elsewhere?"
Is that after the ad read or no?
That's
you want me to
right
answer that now, Drake?
That is right now.
The answer is I say yes. I say yes. And you know who I'm going to bring up? Texas Christian University. They did the same thing. They were shunned out of the original Big 12 from the Southwest Conference. They had nowhere to go. And I think it was the WAC at first they were in. And the Mountain West comes calling.
Yeah.
They're like, look, man, and this isn't as big a move as it would be for SMU and Memphis to go to the Pac-12, mind you. Maybe it will be on equal footing in the next couple of years. But Mountain West is like, hey, geographically, is it great? No. You're not going to have those in-state rivals. But look, like we have got good competition here. And if you play well in this conference, you will make that next step. And TCU's like, well, is this or the WAC? Like, we're not getting into the Pac-12 or the Big 12 right now. Screw it. Let's just do it. And it worked out really well for them. I think SMU and Memphis are the same way. They're like, look, man, it doesn't make much sense geographically or on a recruiting basis or anything other than we are going to get left behind. We're going to get left behind. And fast forward, not 15, 20 years after TCU joined Mountain West, looking at how the college football landscape is now, they probably get in there and think, dude, I mean, if we just do this for a couple of years, like Big 12 is going to be looking for new teams in less than a decade.
Yeah. And TCU was really good at football.
Then SMU's name comes up again. Or if you're Memphis, you're like, well, if they do go the Drake Toll method in the SEC and they add 40 teams, eventually we're going to be in there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Or the ACC. The ACC is going to need some teams in a couple of years when their teams get absolutely pickpocketed. Yeah, because that's not going to happen this year. That's going to happen 4 or 5 years from now. The ACC is going to look completely different. And Memphis is going to be like, look, guys, we've won the Pac-12 West. They're going to be in the Pac-12 West. Just kidding. They're going to be like, we won our division in the Pac-12. Like we were a top 10 team 2 years ago or whatever it was. And ACC's like, oof, that looks good. That looks good. They're close enough. And, it's a big city and blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden the eyes start getting open again because they succeeded in the Pac-12, because the Pac-12 sucks and it will suck then, but it will still be like, it's Pac-12. It was like the first couple of years after all the good basketball teams left the Big East. And I like this. And Creighton was still like pretty good. And all the bracketology people were like, Creighton won the Big East.
Yeah.
I mean, they beat Providence and St. John's and DePaul in New York.
Georgetown as well.
Won the Big East tournament. And then, they get 2 or 3 seed and they get their doors blown off, break on through to the other side. But that's what it's going to be like. That's what's going to be like. So SMU and Memphis say yes. They say yes. I'm California dreaming on such a winter's day.
The mamas and the papas?
Correct. Both of them.
Huh.
Are any of them still alive? I think one of them's still alive.
Yeah. California schools. Undeniable.
Yes. Yep. Keeney's on top. Yeah.
So, yeah.
SMU and Memphis are going to melt their popsicles in the Pac-12 conference.
Yeah. Look, if you're the Pac-12, that is the last place.
It's so hot.
The last thing I can think is if there's not going to be a merger, then the Pac-12 is going to have to resorb part of the AAC. So you're going to have to also take some Mountain West. You're going to have to take some of this. Maybe go to the MAC. Call
which
Toledo.
is what? Which
What's
is
Toledo
which is
doing
San
today?
Diego, which is San Diego State, right? And
the Pac-12. The only way Pac-12 stays alive. Look, the title. Go read the YouTube title of this show is "The Pac-12's Dead." But the only way Pac-12 can live, to rise again, to pull the doors, coming back,
yes,
to take San Diego State, Boise State, SMU, and Memphis. But I'm telling you this, if San Diego State and Boise State go to the Pac-12, I think Memphis and SMU are even less likely to say, oh yeah, we're on par with you. Let's go. That's not going to happen. Memphis is also expanding their stadium, so they're making a move somewhere soon. SMU has DFW. Yeah, Liberty Bowl. SMU has DFW. Boise is the middle of nowhere. I don't know who wants Boise State. Good athletics, but middle of nowhere. You're not even the School of Idaho. You're not even the Vandals. Idaho.
They don't even have they have a blue field, Drake, and they don't have the coolest football stadium in Idaho.
University of Central Arkansas. Oh, I thought you were going to say in general in college athletics.
Idaho has the Kibbe Dome, which is probably the best in college football.
Really nice.
It's a great stadium.
It's a dome. Yeah, NCAA 14. That's coming back.
I love playing in the Kibbe Dome.
Cam, next thing I want to get to is whether or not the Big 12 is part of a Big 3. Will the Big 12 be one of the Big 3 conferences? Before we get to that, I got to tell you about Built Bar. So Built Bar, right, has been one of my favorite things since I started working at Locked On. Built Bar, Cam can attest, really liked it. By the way, he's coming back. He's not gone forever, I promise. I know we haven't been as entertaining today because of our stipulations, but I'm sure we'll be further entertaining later on in the show. Built Bar, though, is the place to go if you really want something super healthy, but at the same time that tastes really good. So they've invented this coconut brownie chunk Built Bar. So you can have coconuts, brownies, some chunks, and inside of a puff. They have like marshmallow puffs. All this sweet treat, 100% real chocolate, and they are good for you. They are low calorie, they are low sugar, they're high protein, they're delicious, they're affordable. If you're feeling hungry and you're not feeling like eating some kale, I'm tired of kale. I've been on Cape Cod, tired of kale, a lot of kale, tired. But that's why I turned to Built Bar. So you go to built.com right now. Don't miss out. Built.com, limited edition, coconut, brownie, chunk. Built.com. Go to built.com, get 15% off when you use promo code LOCKED15, LOCKED, all caps, LOCKED, LOCKED15, all caps at built.com. Go get a Built Bar, built.com. All right. That was an ad read, folks. Welcome back. Drake Toll alongside Cameron Stewart. Cam, did you know I went on a fishing excursion, JR's fishing excursion? I'm on Cape Cod. With
JR, was there an attempt on his life?
No. That's JF.
Lovers.
Okay, that's JF.
Oh, yeah, because you're in the Hyannis mode.
Yeah.
I meant Cape more Cod. Like J.R. Ewing. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm in Texas.
On Cape Cod, on Cape Cod, by the way, where JFK did live. Yeah. I went on a fishing excursion. My girlfriend's host family, they do fishing excursions. Caught a 33-inch striped bass, 33-inch in the middle of the sea.
2 big threes.
There's a picture on the screen right now of me. That's right. That's me right there holding a 33-inch. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, I'm very sorry. You can't see it. Go to the
Just
YouTube.
Describe it. Go to his Tinder profile.
Go to this timestamp and then see. There's a picture of me. Cam, even more monumental than that fish in all of its size and girth is the Southeastern Conference in the Big Ten. Did you know the Big Ten grosses more than the SEC? Did you know that? I did not.
I can believe that. I was
researching today's show.
I'd be a little surprised, but I can believe that.
Researching today's show
with the markets.
Got it pulled up right here, and 40.6 million is what the Big 12 was, right? The Big 10, 57.2 million. The SEC,
That's just total, like that's not TV or
2022 total TV, everything. Okay. The money that we get.
I mean, TV's the biggest, but
yeah. The money you get from the TV deals from everything. So the SEC is at 54.3 million to the Big 12, 40.6. So a pretty good gap right there, right? But number one, 57.2 is the Big 10. Pac-12 is third at 34.4, ACC 30.9 million. So there's a pretty decent gap too between the Pac-12, ACC, and then the Big 12, and then the big step up is the SEC and the Big 10. So the Big 10's higher grossing, but those big fish, the SEC, the Big 10, with the addition of these 4 schools, and if you add in your Oregons, your Washington, and the other 4 schools from the Rockies, is the Big 12 a part of a Big 3? And also factor this in, is it profitable enough to be a Big 3?
Yes.
Ooh,
my brother in Christ. Yes.
Why, Cameron Stewart?
Yes.
Why?
Yes, because that gap we're talking about
is never going to
not right, but it's not going to be between the second and the third place. It's going to be between the third and the fourth and the fourth and the fifth. That's what it's going to be. Stewie Moneybags coming out here, doing some risk assessment, financial planning. Yes, it is going to be a big three. And I feel like we're doing NBA talk in 2017. Like, does Miami have a big three with Dwayne Wade, Hassan Whiteside? No. Like,
yeah.
So yeah, it's going to be considerably lower than the top two. Like, I think we've all conceded that.
Yeah.
Like, you're playing for third place once these things go through. But yeah, man, I mean, if you put out that you add all those Pac-12 schools,
yeah,
hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Because I know you're not getting the biggest TV markets. You're not getting LA or New York or whatever, but you're gaining most of the West Coast. Like, that's not for nothing. And that brings in a ton of revenue. And just having that many teams, I mean, with your scenario, that's what, 18 teams?
Yeah. The Big 18, but you're split the Big 18, but you're splitting it. You're splitting a lot of stuff here.
Right.
That TV deal. Because look at these schools that aren't that profitable.
Right.
How profitable is Arizona State? Probably less so than Arizona.
Actually, probably more so. Arizona State has like the second biggest enrollment in the country.
How profitable is Utah?
Not that profitable.
How profitable is who am I leaving out? Utah, and then the other team is Colorado. Colorado's
not bad,
profitable.
Not terrible.
Yeah. This just
Washington's decent. Oregon's obviously pretty good.
You want to know a real problem? I'm thinking about right now. So yeah,
sucks.
Money's a thing. Money's a thing here. You got to be able to make a lot of money. You got to be able to make money and be profitable. And you got to be able to support your own weight. Otherwise, there's money being divvied out to you that's breaking into the overall revenue of this conference to feed guys that aren't making a lot. That happens in the SEC with, I'm sure, Vanderbilt. So you can't, if you're the Big 12, add 6 Vanderbilts. Okay. Yeah. You are adding schools in Arizona State, Arizona, and Colorado. I don't want to generalize Colorado, Utah. I feel like Washington. Oh God. I feel like with the exception of Oregon, most of these schools don't care. Generally, like, you don't look at these towns and think, this whole town loves college athletics. They're going to pack out the stadium. They're going to pack out the arena. They're going to have the best atmosphere and bring down the house. The SEC is a religion. These schools, I don't think they see athletics as a religion.
They're weirdly in between, because we've talked every time about realignment, about how these guys aren't in big markets, but they are in big enough cities where they would get lost in the fold. Seattle, Salt Lake City,
effectively Denver.
Yeah. Boulder's right outside Denver.
Yeah.
So it's a fair point. Again, in terms of revenue, I mean, you're talking about mostly TV. So the TV market does matter more.
But why? But who there is watching that on TV? Look, that's why teams like TCU.
It's on TV, Drake. It's on TV.
Like the DFW. It's on. Sure, SMU, TCU, these schools are there, right? Houston, who just made it to the Power 5. Those are considerably
smaller, by the way.
Massive markets, massive TV markets, but no one in that TV market wants to watch that.
Well, it's not apples to oranges there, or apples to apples. It is apples to oranges. SMU and TCU are much smaller, like small private. No, smaller than Washington and Utah, even, who are not these massive schools, but they are smaller.
Okay, but still, who's watching Utah on TV? Who's watching Pac-12 After Dark is a TV deal signed specifically because no one would watch the Pac-12.
Right. It sucks. I'm not blaming you, or I'm not saying that you're.
Thanks for not blaming me for the Pac-12's downfall. I'm not
blaming you for the Pac-12 sucking, Drake. I'm going to take a stand. I'm not going to blame you.
The YouTube comments, I've already got enough this week. I'm dealing with HR stuff out the butt.
What was the original question here?
I don't know. These
was
teams
still in the big three? Yeah.
Do these teams care enough? Do these teams care enough?
I'll go with a little loop-de-loop answer here.
All right. Give me a little
They care enough when they're good. And each of those teams has.
How often are they good?
They have Arkansas cycles where they're good every couple of years.
But here's the problem.
There.
Arkansas fans are going to show up good or bad.
That's true. I'm saying more of just their winning cycles are going to be like Arkansas, not like the fandom.
Yeah.
The fandom is always going to be there for Arkansas, obviously. Bill used to talk about it when he lived in Arkansas. It's my father, by the way.
Billdozer.
It's all the ladies who talk about in church was the hogs. Usually you don't talk about that kind of thing in church. They were talking about Razorbacks. Anyway, thank you. I'm here all week. But yes, I'm saying that is going to make enough because I'm not comparing it to the SEC or the Big Ten. I'm comparing it to the defunct land. AAC is going to be basically defunct too,
dude,
but it's still going to be there.
You're done.
And the ACC stinks.
If you are currently someone
right
who
now, they suck at everything.
If you're an AAC fan, if you're like you don't have a team, you're just like a conference person and you have a bunch of AAC merch, keep it. Put it in the closet. Don't wear it for like 30 years.
Yes.
And then watch that thing just grow in value. Watch it grow. I'll buy it in 30 years.
It'd be like Waco Wizards jerseys.
Dude, can't find them anymore. Thousands of dollars. Give me one for free. Find one.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you don't know what the Waco Wizards are and you're a Baylor fan, look it up. What is it?
Also, what are you doing if you don't know that? What are you doing if you don't know that? We say everything Texas happens here.
It does. Cam, here's an idea I just had. Can I say this? Look at the SEC. The SEC has missed with one team in athletics. Who is it?
Vanderbilt. Well,
it's Vanderbilt.
Yes,
sure.
that's the biggest miss for sure.
Vanderbilt,
but
for sure.
I don't know. Missouri stinks.
Missouri stinks for the most part, with very few outliers. Probably a dozen of these schools in the SEC, good or bad, they're going to make a very good profit. They're going to show up to games. They're going to pack out stadiums. You're going to have because look, say you go to Oxford's not huge. Say you go to Kyle Field, right? Holds 108,000 people. 7-5 A&M team. And you still, oh man, bad game. Only had 75,000 folks. That's still more than the capacity at the University of Arkansas. That is still 25,000 more than you get at Baylor. So in the Big 12,
that would be more than anyone in the Big 12, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I kind of have this fear with Oklahoma.
I don't know what Arizona State's is, but I imagine it's not that big.
Bit of a fear with Oklahoma and Texas leaving because they've had issues of their own. Texas specifically with attendance. Who's the attendance guy now in the Big 12? Who's the team that could go 4-8 and people still show up in the Big 18? That's nobody.
Again, you're comparing it to the SEC. I am comparing it to the ACC, which is going to be your competition in this argument. They're going to be better than the ACC. Wake Forest is going to have a top 10 team this year. Yeah. Even if they sell out every game, that's what, 40K?
Yeah.
Who's the big seller outside of Clemson? Because remember, Clemson's not going to be in that conference, or outside of Florida State. They're not going to be in that conference. Maybe.
Nobody wants Miami, by the way. Isn't that weird? Well, have you realized recently nobody wants Miami right now?
They kind of stink.
Oh, okay, but it's not about football record.
So the only attendance you have is if Pitt is good because they play in an NFL stadium, and even then you're not punching it out.
That's a huge market.
Really
big market. Oh,
Pittsburgh? Come on,
it's a top 50 market.
I bet it's not bigger than Seattle.
Oh no, probably not. You're probably right about that.
Denver,
Seattle's a fairly small market though. In the grand scheme
so is Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
this is what happens when you know baseball too much.
You're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
Anyway, so that's what I'm saying. I am comparing it to the ACC, and the AAC is an honorable mention, way down. Nothing against them. So I really do feel.
Are we confirming the Pac-12's dead?
Yes. In this scenario, because you put all the Pac-12 teams in the Big 12. So definitely, if nothing else,
in general, though, can we 100% say the Pac-12's dead?
I think it's dead. Even if they do add those teams, like you talked about.
What is it, like a little DNR? Can you imagine? this? Imagine this, right? It's like, say, Oregon, Washington. No. Even better. I'm going to exclude Washington. Poor guys. I'll leave them in there. Oregon, Arizona, Utah, and Arizona State come to the Big 12, right? Colorado can't save face. Washington stays. Colorado, Washington, Cal, Stanford, and I'm sure I'm forgetting some other Pac-12 schools. They rally together. We're going to create a new Pac-12. Bigger, better. Power 4, baby. Hello, Colorado State. Oh, look at you there, Mr. Boise State. Oh, San Diego State. Is that you? Idaho? No, Utah. Ha. And then you just bring in 12 schools. But it's the best part is that it's Washington, Stanford, which is a great brand, by the way. I would love to have them in the Big 12. Cal, whoever else, Colorado,
Fresno State,
and then Fresno State, San Diego State, Idaho. This is just the pack. And
Montana. You want to jump into
Montana? North Dakota State's too good. You leave North Dakota State.
We want the competition still.
The Pacific 12, North Dakota State, and then
Hawaii.
The commissioner comes out day one. Pac-12 stronger than ever. Pac-12 is stronger than ever. You can see it. I can picture it right now. Damn, we've been here for too long.
I think we're so optimistic in the Big 12. Again, I think this is a good thing. I've said it time and time again.
I feel like
we do. We're probably too big for our britches right now.
Sitting here shipping my caffeine-free ginger ale, Schweppes,
as Boise State would say.
Dankeschön.
Danke. Yeah. Meine Deutsche ist nicht gut. Ein Broncos. That was a little Scandinavian there. Anyway, we're losing it. It's late. It's almost tomorrow.
We can't have fun.
Yeah.
Did you read the last YouTube comments in the other video?
I did. You know what's funny?
Fun. No masks. No fun.
I'm just gonna throw just total inside baseball. I was gonna text you, Drake, after this and be like, "What was our best episode, you and me, so far, to send to potential employers, to potentially get my own show so I can leave you in the dust so you can stop riding off my coattails as if you haven't gotten me the only jobs that I have right now." Anyway, so I was going to ask for that, but you know what? I don't care if it's not this. I'm sending this. Kokomo, worst song
Aruba?
Ever.
Jamaica?
Don't even.
Oh.
Don't even.
I want to take you.
Don't even.
Bermuda, Bahama. It's off the Florida Keys, man. Little place.
I heard a guy on a podcast talking about the Beach Boys today. He's like, "Oh yeah, I know all. Oh yeah, I love the Beach Boys. Know all the songs." The guy's like, "Really? Like what?" He goes, "Surfing USA." I was like, "Wow, congrats, dude." He was bragging about how John Stamos is better than an A-list because he performs with the Beach Boys.
Yeah,
who are like no younger than 85 years old.
I think like half the Beach Boys went to jail for a time. At least half went to jail for a time.
There's two Beach Boys worth a damn, and they haven't been in the band for a long time or off and on for a long time. Mike Love, Kokomo. Ugh. Anyway. Is that the guy who brought a loaded gun to the Full House audition?
To get away from it all. And down in Aruba, Jamaica. Ooh, I want to take you to Bermuda, Bahama. Come on, pretty much.
Oh, they're going to love this.
Key Largo. Montego. Why don't we go? Yeah, there's
we'll get them back on board.
There's no way they were still listening. They turned it off as soon as saw the masks. They turned it off as soon as saw the masks. No way they're still here.
I'm all about having fun, but you guys are having too much fun.
Let the kids play.
Too much fun. Let me tell you.
Play. Folks, thanks for joining the show today. I'm Drake Tull. That's Cam Stewart. If you want to come back on Friday, God, I wouldn't blame you. But at the same time, that'd be a maniac for doing so. If you go ahead and do me a favor, leave a like. If you didn't like the show, leave a dislike and tell us why.
It's the summer, Drake. What are we going to do?
This guy's from Inside the Bears. I'm Drake Tull. I'm from the Hyannis Harbor Hawk broadcast team. I don't know why they gave me this job, but I tried to do a good job every now and then. Folks, thanks again for being with us on Friday. I bet it'll be Cam and I bet we'll be talking about realignment on Locked On Baylor.